saw you coming at me. Somebody that I used to know, somehow you're my enemy. I don't wanna fight no more. Origami on the floor, breaking stuff that's so sentimental. Push and pull is all we do. Life is hollow without you. Ooh, without you, without you, without you, without you. Left hand feels so heavy, anchored to your memory. Ravage through my brain, oh, loose in the china shop. It goes non-stop. I don't wanna fight no more. Origami on the floor, breaking stuff that's so sentimental. Push and pull is all we do. Life is hollow without you. Ooh, without you,
How you doing? Let me turn this down and we'll get it started. Yes, happy Wednesday, hump day. Got some happy music in the background. I was trying to put some sexy music on because this is the 1000 and hold up, wait for it. It's the 1069th episode of the Morning Night Live. How you doing today? It's Wednesday, and I just got a lot of random stuff going on, and we'll get it together here. So, and mostly because I noticed a couple weird, unusual hit pieces out on a couple people that I thought may kind of be related to what's coming up in the next year. I don't know. I mean, or it was just some odd stuff. And it kind of tag teams onto some things we're seeing in the world, particularly one particular weird event in Washington with the way they laid out that flag. But anyway, so I thought I'd touch a couple of those. There's a bunch of stuff going on that is prevalent in the internets right now, and we'll go through those like we do on a daily basis. Are you ready to do it? Well, I certainly am. Johnny, how about we do something cool like play the intro right now?
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
All right. Shall we get this started? Stop the music, please. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Knight on the internet. Welcome back to the P-Dog Knight channel, where we rumble through the news and make our way through whatever we can find that's happening in the world. It's funny. I usually go to my aggregator for news stories, Ace of Spades blog, which is just my favorite one. And I haven't been doing that lately because there's just been so much stuff coming out on Twitter that, but what I'm going to do today when I drop the links today, I will put a link to the morning report where I often get stories from JJ Sefton over at the Ace of Spades blog. He also has his own blog. I can't remember what it's called. Let me look here. But he's just like a great resource if you want to read what's happening in the world. The other place is called, what's it called? Cut Jib Newsletter. cutjibnewsletter.com. Well, it's easier just to follow the link that I put in the links today. But anyway, let's say hello to everybody, get it started, because, limited time, got a lot to do. So, first in the chat over on Rumble, Simon Wolfwood gets the bell. Good morning, sir, and well done. Also, good morning, Avocatus Diabli. I will not forget today. Gotcha, sir. Also, good morning, tall person, Mike Savage, Blarg. Also, Next Gen Troll, what's up? And I think is that everybody on Rumble? I think so. Yeah, that's everybody. I appreciate y'all watching on Rumble. It's good to have you over there. Speaking of tall person, though, tall person has asked me to commemorate a holiday. Dropped a deuce in the tip jar. Means she's the first sponsor today. Dropping a deuce in the tip jar to remind us Happy Asparagus Day. So happy asparagus. I will drink to that with my it's Gut Achet cup from Germany that I got when we were over there, and it's filled with some delicious coffee. Cheers to Happy Asparagus Day. But did I say gay? Asparagus Day. And the only problem is if you eat too much asparagus, oh boy, does it make your pee smell really bad. But anyway, that's a little more than I needed to say. Also, over on YouTube, first in the chat, an old friend who hasn't been here a while, who is first, kapow, Mr. Thomas Cleaver gets the bell. Congratulations, sir. And welcome back. Haven't seen you for a little bit. Also, good morning, Advocatus Diabli. Oh, I'll do it again just because I forgot to the other day. Also, good morning to Simon Wolfwood, Trippy Liberty, Tyler F, Tall Person, Mike Savage, Blarg, Rotten Corpse, Maddie's in the house. Good morning, Tyrannus, Alexandrius, Invictus, Lich. Also, good morning, Nomad.
Hammer time.
Good morning, also. Dana Wastelands in the house. Good morning, chat friends. Good morning. Did you ever get my Discord DM, dog? Oh, I should probably go look. I may not have. I'm okay. As Gunfox will tell you, I'm not the most diligent Discord person. I post my shows there for people who want to find them. Yes, I do. And if anyone, yeah, I have a head injury, so if anyone noticed that, I'll just hide it there. No, I'll have to check that out. Good morning, fake news expert, Attack Alpaca, Gulf City DCC, aka Blink 182. Hate Camels in the house. Nice to have you here. One of the original viewers of the Morning Night Live, and so we're here. Do me a favor, as we often do. I ask you to, what the hell happened there? What the hell happened there? Okay, wait. I gotta. Okay, we got to go back to, this is what I wanted to do. Hang on. There's a little hit piece on Charlie Kirk out here. It's kind of funny. From Rolling Stone magazine. Oh gosh, this is so just crazy. Anyway, what was I doing? No, I forgot. Oh, thank you for the people tweeting out the show. Let me hit the notifications here. Thank you to Tyler F, Hate Camel, aka Horatio Octavius Camelson. Subscribe. What? Why do I? Okay, I don't do that. Tall person, good. Thank you. Appreciate you very much. And thanks for everyone who enjoys the fact that I tweet this out. This is weird. TJ Group, P-Dog Knight, subscribe to our new YouTube channel. We will subscribe back, everyone. Well, I don't care. Unless you have something that's really important to me, I subscribe to channels I want to subscribe to. I will check out the YouTube channel if you happen to be in here. But I'm not one of these subscribe people. Just not my style. I subscribe to people I want to hear. So anyway, let's get into the show because there's a lot to get into. And mostly a lot of things trending. Now, the reason I mentioned Charlie Kirk earlier was because Rolling Stone's doing a weird hit piece on Charlie Kirk, claiming that Turning Point USA is pivoting to Christian nationalism. Now, which is one of the new phrases you're going to start hearing a lot lately. And I just noticed it a lot on Twitter. What did the big head do now? Yeah, that's what I was wondering. So anyway, they do this weird hit piece saying that, here, let me get this on the screen so that we can make sure everyone can see what the hell I'm talking about. So here's one of the tweets that someone put out there. Rolling Stone has been publishing some legit stuff lately. Ha! That's hilarious. Not mincing many words, the piece the other day about whatever this is type groups was really good too. Nice, Rolling Stone. So I found it interesting. So they're saying that Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA is pivots to Christian nationalism. The organization founded to promote the free market sure is spending a lot of time promoting attacks on the separation of church and state. Now, what's interesting here, good morning, by the way, why are you so angry? Good morning, Jay Pylon. What's up? Oops. Jay Pylon. And look, let me preface this by saying this. I'm not a fan of Turning Point USA. I'm not a fan of Charlie Kirk, but sometimes he says things that are correct, and I agree with him on a lot of things, even though I'm not a fan of Charlie Kirk and his organization. I don't know what their true purpose is. Maybe it's just to make money because they can get out and argue with people, but he's not bad at it. He just, I don't know. I don't necessarily prefer his style. He's a little too much into the I wouldn't call it race hustling, but he's a little bit too much focused on that a little too much. But whatever. So anyway, here's the right-wing powerhouse, Turning Point USA, run by Charlie Kirk, began as a campus crusade for capitalism on a mission as recorded with the IRS since 2012. Now, right off the bat, notice they talk about the IRS. Its mission as recorded with the IRS since 2012 is to enlighten students about fiscal responsibility and the virtues of free markets. Now, if you noticed lately, if you've seen any of clips of Charlie Kirk, he also talks a lot about cultural issues. Now, not necessarily from a Christian perspective, but just from a, his whatever his morality perspective is. So they continue. In recent months, however, TPUSA has adopted a cause that's very different from foisting Milton Friedman on frat boys. Now, that was a stab. That was a jab, right? It was. The group is putting its cash and political cachet behind Christian nationalism. That's interesting. Did they get a quote from Charlie Kirk to ask him about this? I'll bet they didn't. Okay, hint, they didn't. The group is promising to restore America's biblical values. Now, they got a link here. What's this link here? Let's see what they link to. Together we restore America's biblical values. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so they have okay, does it mean necessarily Christian nationalism though? Maybe they got the crowd across there. Okay. Indeed, TPUSA is embraced on a new crusade, very carefully chosen word, to empower Christians to change the trajectory of our nation. Interesting. TPUSA's Faith Initiative is currently backing the reactionary preacher, Sean Fucht, or whatever this name is. Sean Get Fucht, in his Kingdom to the Capital tour, where he's staging revivals at the nation's 50 state houses. The mega preacher is explicit about the aim, declaring that he wants believers to be the ones writing the laws and pleading guilty as charged to Christian nationalism. It's all part of the king coming back, Fucht told followers in Oklahoma, a reference to the second coming of Jesus. That's what we're practicing for. Good morning, Jedi Ghost Bear. TPUSA is sponsoring a pastor summit in Nashville, Tennessee, starting May 24th. It promises to empower attendees to stand boldly for righteousness in a world that desperately needs Jesus. The speaker lineup includes Eric Metaxas, MC of the Jericho March that sought divine intervention and keep Trump in power in late 2020, and Pastor Rob McCoy, Kirk's spiritual mentor and co-chairs of TPUSA Faith. The doctrine of McCoy's church insists that Jesus will return to earth, establish a kingdom of which there will be no end, and demands that all believers fulfill his command to preach the gospel to the entire world. Okay, so, yeah. But here's the problem. Okay, now, so it goes on and on in this article. But there's a very, very specific reason that they're using the term Christian nationalism. Okay. And it's because that is it's funny. They like to talk about how people use dog whistles, but this is a kind of a dog whistle to attack these people. Because they have faith in their religion, their God, and our God, everyone's God, I suppose. And because it also, for them, it's a dog whistle to say that these people are racist. Because Jesus already returned. His name was Tafari Makanen, and he was emperor of Ethiopia in the mid-20th century, just as the Rastafarians. Oh, well, there you go. There you go. That explains it all then. There's a reason, though, they're using this particular term, Christian nationalism, because they they're trying to bring this term up in relation to Marjorie Taylor Greene and other people they see as super racist people, and trying to scare people with it. It's a scare tactic. Now, it's interesting, though. They say that Turning Point's pivot mirrors a seismic shift in the conservative movement away from trickle-down economics into culture wars, particularly around issues of race, gender identity, and abortion. Now, it's interesting because I don't recall there being a pause from at least the abortion part of that equation. Now, the gender stuff's kind of been foisted upon everybody over the last 5 years, and so these same people can have opinions about it, right? And it says it reflects a party that sees political salvation not in minting a new crop of free market bros, but in mobilizing a base of, here it is, white evangelicals who don't always turn out to the polls, but fervently back the GOP when they do. Okay, well, I guess that is a constituency that has, that's my stomach, sorry. That is a constituency that seems to be waning with maybe the Trump candidacies, maybe. I don't know. At least they're doing their best to separate them from the possibility of being in the Trump camp, right? Good morning, Jaeger Pony, my favorite Canadian and selected boy. Conservatives were never about trickle-down economics. That was not even a term they used, for fuck's sake. True, that is true too. See, again, they're using. I forget this is Rolling Stone using their own terminology, right? So it reflects a party that sees political salvation and not minting a new crop of free market bros, which is, notice how they use these slights there. Oh, a bunch of free market bros. But mobilizing in a base of white evangelicals who don't always turn out at the polls, but further blah, blah, blah. Kirk did not respond to Rolling Stone's request for comment about the new crusade at Turning Point. Now, I'm curious, when exactly did they ask Charlie Kirk for an interview here? When did they talk to Charlie Kirk? I'm guessing that, as a lot of these journalists do, right before they were going to publish this, they might have asked Charlie Kirk for comment, but they weren't going to actually interview Charlie Kirk for this. No. Now, here's how they describe Christian nationalism. Hello, Rachel Maddow Dildo. Speaking of which, hello, Rachel Maddow Dildo. Christian nationalism is a belief system held by a minority of Christians who argue against the facts of U.S. history. Oh, do they now? That America was founded as a Christian nation. Okay, that is correct. It was not founded as a Christian nation per se. But, most of the tenets of the original founders had, let's say, it had Christian values without making the country a Christian nation, because we do believe in freedom of having other ideas, right? They believe in a fusion between a particularly conservative and ethnocentric, again, they're trying to make this a racism thing, expression of Christianity with American civic life. Andrew Whitehead, a professor and author of American Ideology, How a Christian Nationalism Betrays the Gospel and Threatens the Church. Oh, is this your expert? This is your expert. Because, you didn't, I know you it's funny, because you certainly got an interview from him, right? I bet you called him way before you wrote this article. In fact, I bet you probably got most of your ideas from this article from him, right? And yet, Charlie Kirk did not respond to Rolling Stone's request for comment about the new crusade. Well, I don't know if you call my activist group a crusade. I kind of know where you're going with this. Why get a, what do you call it? It's a de facto Christian country. Yeah, kind of. Hello, those ain't real, dude. So anyway, that's his expert as someone on how Christian nationalism betrays the gospel. Anyway, adherents Whitehead says, believes that the country was founded for Christians like them and generally natural-born citizens and white. Again, see, this is their rub, because I know a lot of the TPUSA people are not white. I'm just saying. But you know what? This is what Rolling Stone wants to make it because it's a hit piece. And that the federal government should preserve that framework. It's a movement that literally demonizes opponents as agents of Lucifer. Wow. I guess I've seen some, Turning Point USA stuff. I've never heard that one though. And this totalitarian with God or with the devil outlook, Whitehead, again, this is the professor, has explained to Rolling Stone, presents an existential threat to democracy. Oh, no. And it goes on and on and on and on. It has a little tweet from Right Wing Watch, too. Oh, how perfect. Christian nationalist Sean Vogt prayed a blessing over Indiana Lieutenant Governor Susan Crouch after she arranged for them to hold a prayer rally inside the state capitol. Vogt promised that Couch will be filled with favor for giving them access. And then they go into Kirk's Christianity. Oh, good Lord. Kirk, for his part, doesn't contest the Christian nationalist label as much as he taunts those who use it. Again, notice they did not interview him. They just made this hello shrapnel. In his August 2022 Flashpoint speech in front of a live audience in Fort Worth, Texas, the 27-year-old TPUSA founder said liberal critics are decrying a disturbing movement of Christian nationalism. Do you know what that is code for? He asked believers in the audience. It's code for you're starting to care and they're getting scared. See, they got it because they got to label everything. Look, one thing that the left is really good at is giving a scary label to things that people on the right do. Okay. So you've got the insurrection. That's a good one. That's a scary name for that kind of riot at the Capitol, and look, the idea that there's an insurrection, like that was and they call it an armed insurrection because they hit people flagpoles. And they run it into they drive it into the ground and make it stick, and they're really good at it. So this is just another one of those things. Kirk said little to champion economic freedom. Really, he rallied instead against Pride Month, rainbow flags, and gay orgies in San Francisco. Are we a conquered country at this point? He asked. It's like you see a gay flag more than you see the United States of America flag. He warned that our nation's young people are being targeted by the enemy, meaning Satan. Oh, did he say that? Through his attempting to turn them toward secular humanism. Okay, well, look, and I am not the most religious person on the planet. I'm not by any stretch. But the values that I learned growing up in a Christian church, I certainly somewhat adhere to, I would think. And it seems like the less people, and I'm not even a proponent of religion, but the religion has a place in society, and it seems that the less people are religious, the more our society seems to be getting fucked. So I understand where that can be important to a society. And I'm not saying which religion. I'm just saying religion, period. Grounds people. And whether you believe it's true or not, it does have this place of organizing society in ways that that cause people to act better than they might if it were just straight up anarchy. And I don't even have, I have no problem with anarchists, because a lot of anarchists have better morals than some of these assholes who claim to be Christians. So I'm not, but the structure and the mindset of that is what I'm talking about. So anyway, and then they talk about a pastor summit, all this stuff. But it's kind of funny that the idea that look, you're going to be hearing this a lot, this particular term a lot in the over the next year, Christian nationalism, because that's kind of the new buzzword among the left. And Rolling Stone is just getting out in the front of the field on this one. All right, I'm going to move on because, like I said, I do have a lot today. Let's see. Other things trending right now. Chief Justice is trending on Twitter. Apparently, Chief Justice John Roberts said on Tuesday night that he was confident the Supreme Court will convince the public that it adheres to the highest standards of conduct. Now, there have been hit pieces on Clarence Thomas, on Gorsuch recently, because Clarence Thomas goes on vacation with one of his good friends that he's known since college, and the person just happens to be very rich and owns some cool stuff that Thomas has been vacation with him for years. And apparently people don't like it because they say, well, he's getting some special favors from a guy who might have some something before the court. Well, it's his friend. He's allowed to have friends, but they wanted to make it sound like he's accepting special favors. So anyway, but the Chief Justice also said that there's more the Supreme Court could do to adhere to the highest standards of ethical conduct. It's an acknowledgement. Oh, wait. Now, this is a totally different headline in the AP. In the AP, they say it's an acknowledgement that recent reporting about justices' ethical missteps is having an effect on the public's perception. No, they're hit pieces on the justices. Because if you really, that's the AP. So anyway, that's why he's trending. I'm not going to get into the articles. Let's go next. Also trending, Amanda Gorman. Now, if you remember who Amanda Gorman is, she was a young lady who was it at Biden's inauguration, did the poem? I think so. Well, there's a big controversy in Florida, right? Because apparently in Florida, in some school districts, parents can object to something in a school. And so this poem that she did, I think it was at Biden inauguration, some parent objected in a school in Miami-Dade County, a single school. And so the school said, okay, let's review whatever it is the F you're talking about, right? Well, because of the game of Twitter telephone, you know, the game telephone where you whisper something to someone's ear and then the next person whispers and the next person whispers, it came out to be that this school was banned in the state of Florida. Oh my God. And so there are people all over Twitter bitching about this poem being banned in Florida. So here's an example. So now Mark Hemingway, he changed his name. Anyway, he said, here's my hot take. Amanda Gorman's poetry shouldn't be in school libraries because it's trite and bad. But I would say that about a lot of books. In any event, her poetry was not banned. Stop lying about this. That's an accurate take. But this woman who complained about the poem in a single school, not in the entire state of Florida, here's an example of someone who doesn't like this person and is upset about it. The Nazi mom, member of Planned Parenthood, who filed a complaint about Amanda Gorman's poem, listed Oprah Winfrey as the author. They get pissed when you accuse them of racist stereotypes, then they demonstrate racist stereotypes constantly. These people are fucking ridiculous. Now, interesting, he says they who? This one mom who did something stupid? I'm just not sure if I get it. How do you ban a school in the state of Florida? Not a school, you ban the poem. A poem, I'm sorry. Did I say a school? A poem. So they've been blasting this woman. Okay, and Amanda Gorman, they have an article in The Hill. I'm gutted because of one parent's complaint. My inaugural poem, The Hill We Climb, has been banned from an elementary school in Miami-Dade County, Florida, Gorman said. Okay. Here we go again. They're saying it was banned, but was it banned? Now, and also, because some of these people say, oh, it's banned everywhere. Well, no. The parent put Oprah as the author for Amanda Gorman's poem. This is blatantly racist. Why would it be blatantly racist to say that if they got mistakenly said the poem was written by Oprah Winfrey? Is that what is racist about that? Let's just take the whole poem and someone asking it to be removed from an elementary school out of the picture. A black girl recites a poem at the inauguration. The author's published, and the person think that the author of the poem was Oprah Winfrey. Why is that racist? I'm not sure. Seriously, the parent put Oprah as the author for Amanda Gorman's poem. This is blatantly racist. How? They got the wrong author, and it happens to be another black woman when the girl who recited the poem was a black, young black girl, young black woman. Okay, help me. Now another one. Daily Celine is a parent who got banned Amanda Gorman's The Hill We Climb, challenges 3 other books: The ABCs of Black History, Cuban Kids, Countries in the News, Cuba, and Love to Langston. Whatever. All you need to say, as it teaches hate, she's illiterate yet wants educational bans. So they've been blasting this woman. They've got her all over the place. They say in this. So first of all, wasn't bad. MSM having let's go right here. Let's go right here, because here's we go. Good Lord. This is from Twitchy, one of my favorite favorite sites that makes fun of things that happen on Twitter. Good Lord, is there anything sacred left in Florida that tyrant Ron DeFascist won't destroy? In case you missed it, Ron DeFascist little Nazi soldiers have fascistly and Nazily banned Amanda Gorman's inspirational poem, The Hill We Climb, from a Florida school. Can you believe that? Where do they get off outright banning a poem by America's first national youth poet laureate? Gorman read that poem at Joe Biden's presidential inauguration, for F's sake. It's time to get your torches and pitchforks and march down to Florida and let Ron DeSantis know that you're not going to stand for this. Gorman is absolutely crushed by what has happened. Actually, she's more than crushed. She's thoroughly gutted. Here's her statement. Why would anyone think Oprah is capable of writing a poem? Oprah would write a poem. Here's Amanda Gorman's statement. Oh, wait, hang on. Hold on. I'm sorry. Give me one moment. I absolutely have to do this on this one. I'm sorry. This is very, very, very important. Give me a moment. Just a second. I'm working on it. Let's go. Here we go. Okay, got it. Here we go. I'm gutted. Because of one parent's complaint, my inaugural poem, The Hill We Climb, has been banned from an elementary school in Miami-Dade County, Florida. Book bans aren't new, but they have been on the rise. According to the ALA, 40% more books were challenged in 2022 compared to 2021. What's more, often all it takes to remove these works from our libraries and schools is a single objection. And let us be clear, most of the forbidden works are by authors who have struggled for generations to get books on bookshelves. A majority of these censored works are by queer and non-white voices. I wrote The Hill We Climb so that all young people could see themselves in a historical moment. Ever since, I received countless letters and videos of children inspired by The Hill We Climb to write their own poems. Robbing children of the chance to find their voices in literature is a violation of their right free thought and free speech. What can we do? We must speak out and have our voices heard. That's why my publisher, Penguin Random House, joined PEN America authors and community members in a lawsuit in Florida's Escambia County to challenge book restrictions like these. To help so-and-so donate to this so-and-so, whatever the fuck it is. Okay, look. Let's get into the truth of the matter. Ron DeSantis is literally robbing children of the chance to read not just Amanda Gorman's magnificent and glorious and amazing, brilliant poetry, but he's also robbing children of the chance to read the works of other non-white voices and queer voices. And to think there are people out there who still insist that Florida is not banning books all over the place. Now, obviously, there can be no explanation for what happened to Gorman's poetry other than that Ron DeSantis is a white supremacist queerophobe who also hates children. Obviously, it's not remotely possible that Amanda Gorman isn't being honest about what happened. Well, there is just a remote possibility. How are you guys so clueless and gullible that you fall for bogus stories every freaking day? No book was banned, and it had nothing to do with the state. A school district reviewed 4 books and decided 3 of them were more than appropriate for middle school kids than elementary school kids. Quote, a school material review committee comprised of staff members at the school ultimately concluded that one of those books, Countries in the News, Cuba, was balanced and age appropriate and would therefore remain on the library shelves. The others, however, were deemed more appropriate for middle school aged children and will now be in the middle school section of the school library, the Herald reports. So, that didn't get banned? What do you mean? Now it would seem that Amanda Gorman is either woefully misinformed or that she's doing the misinforming. That would also seem to be the case for our illustrious mainstream media who couldn't be bothered to look into the circumstances surrounding the, quote, ban before pouncing and seizing and thrusting all over the place. Oh, let me try that again. Before pouncing and seizing and thrusting all over the place. Anyway. A bunch of people post-react to Florida's banning after one parent's objection. Amanda Gorman responds to her poem being banned by a Florida house school because of one parent's complaint. Politico. Florida school bans Amanda Gorman's inaugural poem after parent complaint. And it goes, everybody's putting this out here. All over the place. Okay, let me just check one outlet here. One tiny outlet. Let's see if they have made a correction yet. This is Politico from 2 days ago. We're going to click on the link. Let's go to Politico and see if they've changed if they updated this at all. Politico. A Miami-Dade Elementary School has removed Amanda Gorman's presidential inaugural poem, The Hill We Climb, from circulation after a parent complained that it contained indirect hate messages. Gorman, 25, who gained national prominence after she recited her poem at President Joe Biden's 2020 blah, 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 inauguration, took to Twitter Tuesday to denounce the book banning. We've already read this. Do they have a note at the bottom here? Nope. 2 days. And they do not have a note at the bottom. Oh, now let's see. According to the documents released by the Florida Freedom to Read Project and first reported by the Miami Herald, the book was removed from circulation from the K through 8 Bob Graham Education Center in Miami Lakes after one parent complained in March that it is not educational and have indirectly hate messages. The same parent complained about 4 other books, The ABCs of Black History, Cuban Kids, Countries in the News, Cuba, and Love to Langston, citing indoctrination and CRT. The complaint also misidentified Oprah Winfrey as the author of The Hill We Climb. Okay, no update. No update. They just moved it to the middle school section of the library. Fascinating. They didn't ban the book. Still in the library. Still there. Still there. Still there after all these years. Good Lord. All right. I got to go faster because I'm not going to make it through this illustrious pile of things. All right. Let's move on. Merrick Garland's also trending. Apparently, President Trump's attorneys have submitted a letter to Attorney General Merrick Garland requesting a meeting. The attorneys stated no president of the United States has ever in the history of our country been basically investigated in such a something manner. Now, in such an, it doesn't even say. Outrageous and unlawful manner. I'm glad to finally see Trump fighting back and bringing it to the AG. This corrupt administration is attacking Trump at every turn, and it's time to go on offense. No more sitting around and waiting for the baseless attacks. Hopefully others in the GOP will grow a spine and help them in this fight. Who's ready to fight back? So they put this letter on Truth Social, and a lot of people are posting it. Now, what's fascinating about this, I've seen multiple Democrat, those Democrat accounts out there that just all they do is spew out propaganda all day and they have millions of followers. Well, all of them have taken this letter and said to number and his apparently email address, we should let's see how fast we can fill up his inboxes. And so they are in a campaign to harass the lawyers who put this out to the Attorney General. Now, so anyway, that's why Merrick Garland is trending, because the letter from Trump supposedly comes. Now, Jake Tapper says the letter to Garland comes supposedly as Smith, that's Jack Smith, the guy who's investigating, is set to receive a batch of documents from the National Archives that show Trump and his top advisors had knowledge of the correct declassification process while he was president. So... apparently that's going to be the smoking gun. So anyway, that's why Garland is trending. Moving on. DeSantis 2024 is trending. Apparently Ron DeSantis is going to be announcing his run for president. I guess he's going to do that on Twitter with an interview with Elon Musk and some other dude. Just woke up and thought, what day is it? It's the day DeSantis announces for 2024. We've been hoping for this to savages, and the day has finally come. Help has arrived, never back down. And Donald Trump has weighed in on the fact that DeSantis is going to be announcing, saying Ron DeSantis, as in DeSanctimonious, can't win the general election or get the nomination because he voted to obliterate Social Security, even wanting to raise the minimum age to 70 or more, which I have no problem with, and I'm not retired yet, and fought hard and voted for a 23% tax on everything, sales tax. He wanted to do a flat tax and get rid of the income tax. He was part of that group, which I agree with too. A flat sales tax, or national sales tax versus a consumption tax, which would make more sense and would also encourage people to save more. But that's just me. Not everyone likes that idea. I like that. Either a flat tax income tax with no deductions, or no income tax and just consumption taxes. If you use stuff, you buy stuff, you pay taxes, and then you have them build more shit, right? But anyway, he was and is a disciple of horrible rhino Paul Ryan. Wait, didn't Paul Ryan work for Trump at some point? And others, too many to mention. I mean, think of now. Look, this is Trump's Achilles heel. Sometimes he doesn't know when to shut up. Because if you really want to put a list of all the crazy people Trump had around him during administration because he didn't really know who to pull in, let me give you one example. John fucking Bolton. Come on. So, look, It may work amongst the most loyal MAGA people. It doesn't work for me, and I would vote for Trump again. Let's just put it that way. But anyway, Paul Ryan and others, too many to mention. He also desperately needs a personality transplant, and to the best of my knowledge, they are not medically available yet. A disloyal person. Now, he also mentioned, I had a tweet about him, how he helped Ron DeSantis when he was down in the polls and was going to lose, and Donald Trump came swooping in, and then he ended up winning bigly. I don't remember. I remember the DeSantis race being tied at one point, but I think there were other factors that there are other factors that caused Ron DeSantis to win. Woodcutter, what's happening? Flat sales tax hurts poor people and independent contractors. A flat sales tax? Oh, I see. Consumption tax. Not if there was. Well, yeah, I suppose because you can't. You can't index it for the poor like you can an income tax, because a flat income tax, you can say, okay, you start paying it at X percentage of the poverty line, either 100% or 120% of the poverty line is when you start doing that tax. And then from then on, everything with no deductions is the same rate for everybody. So you can't say, oh, the millionaires are not paying their fair share, or this millionaire didn't pay anything in income tax while this poor teacher paid tax and income tax, when in reality, millionaires, billionaires pay more taxes than anybody, and they kind of carry the whole country. But that's a whole nother thing. Anyway, so that's what Donald Trump said. Other things trending. Uvalde's trending. Is the year anniversary of Uvalde, Texas. That when the Robb School, there was a mass shooting there. The mass shooting, how I would define it, someone randomly going into a place and shooting a bunch of people, as opposed to like gang violence or crimes or whatever, where they pad the numbers in the crime-ridden areas where 2 or more people get shot to call it a mass shooting. But then they want everyone to think that all mass shootings that they count are like Uvalde, Texas. They're not. They're completely different things, okay? And facts over feelings, what's happening. Half the country doesn't know Ron DeSantis was in the House before, but he pretends like he's an outsider. I don't know if he pretends that. I don't know if he's ever acknowledged it. He's a governor now, so that helps a lot, because really, I don't know, it's been very rare, other than Joe Biden, where someone who's never been either a governor or a vice president, but Joe Biden was vice president too, for like someone from the House to become president. That's always been rare anyway. But you know, he's a governor now, and so on and so forth. Okay, so anyway, so there's going to be a lot of talk today about, what do they call it? They like to call it gun safety, which is interesting. And then they like to call it gun violence, which is interesting, because gun safety means that you take guns away from people, but gun violence means that the guns are the reason that people are using them. Okay, when I say it's people violence, okay, and what they're saying gun safety is gun control, and what they say is gun violence is people violence, and that's where the problem is, because the guns have always been here. There have been millions. Everyone's been had millions of guns forever in the United States, but the gun violence has taken an uptick, even though the gun violence is at a lower pace than years past. So it's kind of a tricky thing, because when you say, oh, well, there's all this crime and whatever that's happening right now, the Biden administration was, well, it's, the crime is lower than when it was, and so on, so and so. But then you see they keep highlighting every single shooting that, fits their demographic needs. And they're saying, well, there's an epidemic of gun violence. Well, which is it? Is crime down, or is there a lot more gun violence? Well, no, crime is up since Joe Biden's been in office, and all these crazy attorney generals don't put anyone in jail anymore. So anyway, lots of people putting, commemorating the loss of life at Uvalde, and every news media outlet seems to be making this a big point today, and which is fine. I'm memorializing the people who are lost, but for example, here's an article at ABC News. President Biden plans today to call on Republicans in Congress to act to end the epidemic of gun violence in the U.S., the White House says. Really? What does that mean? Oh, he's going to ban. He thinks banning some guns will do that. I disagree, because it's not gun violence. It's not the guns that are violent. It's the people who use them who are violent, and they're going to be violent regardless. And we need to figure out what's the problem right now. There's a big problem. And unfortunately, we need a giant attitude adjustment enema in the United States, is what I think. And they need to start sending criminals to jail. Okay, so how about that? Let's start there. Start with and maybe some mental health services. But we have a weird love for violence in the country, and they're not really addressing that part of it. Also trending right now, bloke in lipstick. Somebody got this one trending. I think it's because apparently, well, here's the kind of short story. Trans activists leave urine bottles outside the UK Equality and Human Rights Ministry after a transgender man alleged that the UK Equalities chief referred to him as a bloke in lipstick. I'll just leave the trending topic in the links today, because there's a whole lot of people talking about this. It's some shit going on in the UK, and there's a lot of people talking about it. But I guess my question to the world is, was he wrong? I'm in trouble. Next, also trending today, Ice Cube is trending. Not something you find at a tray in your freezer, but the former member of NWA, rapper extraordinaire and actor and activist, Ice Cube is trending because, well, he made a statement the other day that perhaps Black Americans need to stop being so loyal to Democrats. Oh my God, he's go! And people are mad as hell. So some people are even saying, let's exclude Ice Cube from the convo real quick. Why do we still need to vote for MFers in either party for when they all show they don't care about black people? Well, here's one of the problems, okay? Remember during the campaign between the senile one and the guy with the funny hair, Ice Cube put out this plan and met with the guy with the funny hair, and they came out with this plan, and he's like, okay, we've got some of these ideas that I thought of were in the guy with the funny hair's plan. Let's go talk to the the Sundowner guy. And the Sundowner guy said, well, we'll talk with you after election. Okay, so the platinum plan by the funny-haired guy, and then we'll talk to you after the election with the guy who ended up winning by the most votes of any president in U.S. history and the most pristine and fair and safe election ever. And Ice Cube hasn't heard back from the guy with the Sundowner guy. Now, perhaps the Sundowner guy has forgotten about Ice Cube, but Ice Cube has not forgotten about him, and he's saying, here's what Ice Cube said, simplifying what Ice Cube is trying to explain to black voters. The definition of insanity is doing the exact same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Black people have been voting Democratic over and over, expecting change that's never coming. But some people are critical of that even thought. It's funny how a lot of conservatives think that just because Ice Cube put the Democrats on blast, that somehow he's leaping to their side. Y'all are so airheaded. Well, that's probably true too. Just because he says fuck the Democrats doesn't mean that Ice Cube's jumping on with Republicans, but at least Donald Trump put some plan out there, which I don't necessarily need a plan personally, but if you're going to talk the talk, at least put something on paper. And Donald Trump did that. Joe Biden hasn't even returned the call. So I'm sure that's why Ice Cube is talking that way and people are blasting Ice Cube. But remember, here's something Ice Cube said 30 years ago. Just want to point this out to you. 30 years ago, Ice Cube said this.
And I can't stop, won't stop. So fuck Bill and Hillary. Ice Cube, it ain't no killing me. Ice Cube, Scarface, dropping it on these.
All right, so not the first time that Ice Cube has blasted a Democrat in public. Okay, here it is. Ice Cube slams Black Americans for supporting Democrats. Nothing has changed. Rapper and actor Ice Cube said recently the Black community's decades of support for Democrats has failed to bring change. During a recent interview on the Full Send podcast, one of the hosts asked him if there was a stigma in the Black community when it came to Republicans. I don't know what's going on in the African-American community when it comes to that. I mean, Black people have supported Democrats overwhelmingly for 50, 60 years, and nothing has changed. So something's got to change, he replied. So anyway, that's the whole interview's there. Ice Cube said Biden still hasn't spoke to him about Black America. That was in October 2022. So, yeah, Biden never returned the call. Trump at least put out a plan, put it on paper, said, hey, here's that platinum plan, $500 billion that's not going to Ukraine and going into Black America or whatever, neighborhoods that need some help. And nothing from Joe Biden. Squeaky, 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 squeaky. That's it. That's all he got from Joe Biden. Squeaky, squeaky. I don't know what the hell that was, but that sounded good. That's it. Nothing. Got a little noise and didn't happen. All right. Bob Dylan's trending because Bob Dylan turned 82 years old today. You can scroll through that link today yourself. The Atlantic. Now, here's what I really wanted to talk about because the hit pieces, like the Rolling Stone piece on Turning Point USA, the hit pieces are coming for everybody that even tiny way stray from what the powers that be want. Now, this isn't why the Atlantic is trending. I think that this is fake, right? This is a joke, okay? Because the Atlantic white supremacy is now a multiracial movement. Although I looked that up to see if that was a real article, and you'd be shocked at how many articles have been written in the last 4 or 5 months, including especially since that shooting where the Hispanic brother shot up a bunch of people and he was a white supremacist, the Hispanic white supremacist. There's been all kinds of articles talking about the diversity of white supremacy, which is one of the funniest things I've ever heard. But that's not why the Atlantic is trending. The Atlantic is trending because they put an article out about Twitter. Elon Musk has transformed Twitter into a right-wing alt-tech platform that has much in common with the likes of Truth Social and Rumble. Oh my God! What the hell are you doing, Elon Musk? What are you doing? Twitter's a far-right social network. Now, I gotta remind people, now, if you're on Twitter, okay, now I'm on Twitter, and I spend a lot of time on Twitter. And when I'm on Twitter, I go to my home page, right? I go to my home page. And what happens the way their algorithm works, okay? They got 2 sections on Twitter. Let me show you real quick. This is what Twitter looks like when you come on here, okay? You got, so here's me. This is me, P-Dog Knight, got some notifications, blah, blah, blah. So when I go onto Twitter, if you notice up here at the top, got this little section right here. It says, For You. Okay, now that For You section is heavily influenced by algorithms, okay? So anything that you respond to or people you respond to, anyone you respond to, that algorithm tries to put similar things that you respond to on there. So if you go onto Twitter and you see some dumbass that you don't normally associate with say something really stupid, or somebody else mentions something that they really say that's stupid, and you put a comment or you reply or something to that stupid shit, the For You section sees only things that you replied to and tries to give you similar things. So that's why I get the Krasensteins in my feed so much. That's why I get Brooklyn Dad Defiant in my feed so much. That's why I get Call to Action in my feed so much. That's why I get JoJo from Jers in my feed so much. Because at one point in time, I think I might have replied to someone else making fun of the Krasensteins in a tweet that the Krasensteins wrote, and then I got, the Krasensteins. But then again, one of the Krasensteins followed me after a Twitter space, so that could be part of it too. So anyway, I get a lot of that kind of stuff. Now I get some of the stuff that I do. James Lindsay. I listen to James Lindsay. Jimmy Das Hotep right there. You can see Jimmy Das Hotep. But here's the things in my feed. Sonny Johnson. I responded to Sonny Johnson. Travis Flitt. Jeff Charles. There's Ed Krasenstein, because this is in my For You section, because these are algorithmically things, people that I respond to or interact with on Twitter. This is CNN, AK Accurate, Scribe Light, Mary King, Ian Miles Chong. But I do get a lot of those other people that I normally am like, you guys are stupid, right? However, there's also a section, see the For You up here, but there's also the section up here that says following. You got the For You and you got the following. If you only want to be in your own little personal echo chamber of people that you follow and listen to, whatever, all you got to do is click following, and then it's only people you follow. It's their feed. So there you go. Sour Patch Lids. I follow Sour Patch Lids. The Democracy Fund. I must follow Yankee. Yeah, I follow Yankee, who retweeted the Democracy Fund. So anyone that you interact with, that you follow, if they are doing something on Twitter, that's the feed that you use for that. So if you want to be in your own echo chamber, hit the following. If you want to hear a lot of different shit that sometimes you're not going to agree with, do the For You section. So now, before I continue, thank you, Steph Colonel, for sponsoring the show. Appreciate you from Hotep Nation. Dropping a 5 spot into the tip jar. Thank you, sir. Who says, extreme. Yeah, extreme. That's exactly it. So, let's go back to this Atlantic tweet and article. Elon Musk has transformed Twitter into a right-wing alt-tech platform. Really? Because I am inundated with left-wing Democrats and progressives on my For You feed, because I respond to them quite often. Let's go into the article. Twitter is now, it's far from it. Now, and also, here's the other thing about this article that I'm going to just preface this with. There are a lot of people a few places that have started alt tech sites. We would see Gab and what are some of those? Gab, Cloud Hubs, Getter, Parler, and now Truth Social, right? Truth Social, Trump's thing. But there's also some left-wing ones, Mastodon, and that's the one I can think of. Spoutable. There's a few of them that have popped up, and a lot of people said, we're going to go over to these other, we're mad at Twitter. We're mad at Elon Musk. Lets people on the right speak their mind on Twitter. We're going to have our own thing. We're going to go and have our own Rumble or Spoutable. We're going to have our own version of Parler, our own version of Getter, our own version of Truth Social. Let me just say something about those sites. While it is a good place to maybe find interesting articles that you agree with. Now, that's not a penis. It's an elephant's nose. He's saying that it's all Republicans now. The one thing about those other sites, though, at least from the right-hand perspective, yeah, interesting, but boring as hell. There's no interaction. You're not interacting with people you disagree with. You don't get in any intellectual discussion. You might hear some good ways to argue with people on the left, but it's boring as fuck, okay? And I guarantee you, all these people on the left who are running over to Mastodon and whatever, all those other places, they're going to be bored over there. They still, the reason they still play on Twitter Playground is because they can argue with people, they can yell at people, they can be mad at people. That's the whole thing about Twitter. It makes you mad. You're mad. You're dummy, and you're like, you dummy. That's why Twitter's fun. Okay? And now it's more fun for these assholes because it's a far right social network. Oh, yes. Here it is. Twitter is long. Oh God, this is one of those. Hang on. I forgot to do this. Hang on. Let me fix this. Silly effing me. What the hell are you? There we go. Copy. Let's do the invalid URL. What the hell does that mean? What the fuck are you talking about? Let's go back. Let's find it again. Is this not going to work? I'll be very sad if it doesn't. Hello? Oh, there we go. Okay, here we go. Now I got a version you can see. It's even better. All right, let's just get into the beginning of this. Twitter has been long described, even by its most ardent users, as a hell site. But under Elon Musk, Twitter has evolved into a platform that is indistinguishable from the wastelands of alternative social media sites like Truth Social and Parler. Really indistinguishable? Really? Robert Reich spends time on Parler? Brooklyn Dad Defiant is prominent on Truth Social? I didn't know that. It is now a right-wing social network. In December, I argued that if we were to judge Musk strictly by his actions as Twitter's owner, it is accurate to call him a far-right activist. As a public figure, he has demonstrated an unwavering commitment to the right's culture war against progressivism, which he refers to as the woke mind virus, and his $44 billion Twitter purchase can easily be seen as an explicitly political act to advance this specific ideology. Okay, this guy doesn't spend any time in his own follower feed, clearly. Let's see. Now, the site itself has unquestionably transformed under his leadership into an alternative social media platform, one that offers a haven to far-right influencers and advances the interests and prejudices and conspiracy theories of right-wing American politics. Now, I gotta tell you, you do realize I found your article on Twitter. Fucking moron. Earlier today, NBC News reported that Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is slated to kick off his 2024 presidential campaign in a Twitter Spaces event with Musk. Twitter, quite literally, is a launch pad for far right-wing political leaders. Also today, the Daily Wire, the conservatives media juggernaut that is home to Ben Shapiro, as well as the political commentators Matt Walsh and Michael Knowles, who are known for arguing against trans rights, announced it would bring its entire slate of podcasts to Twitter starting next week. That's because that's because Twitter is encouraging people to bring their shows to Twitter. Anyone can do it. Not like they're limiting your sorry ass from bringing your podcast to Twitter, even though nobody will fucking listen to it. And earlier this month, the former Fox News host Tucker Carlson announced that he would take his primetime show format, a dog-whistling broadcast style known for its fear-mongering and bigotry, to Musk's platform. May I remind you, if you are one who hears dog whistles, well, you might be the dog. Both Carlson and certain Daily Wire hosts have been deplatformed elsewhere. Carlson, of course, only recently lost his sinecure on cable, and Walsh had his popular YouTube channel demonetized over his transphobic commentary. Wait a minute. That's not being deplatformed. Carlson's had he was deplatformed at CNN, he was deplatformed at MSNBC. So? Although they reported they haven't brokered official deals with the platform, they haven't. Carlson and the Daily Wire will likely make use of Twitter's new subscription features and ad revenue sharing to monetize their audience. Oh no! This is a shot across the bow. Because listen, this is how they got YouTube to demonetize people. Not necessarily the Atlantic. I know Rolling Stone and Wall Street Journal, where they do these hit pieces that, oh my God, these people might have people who want to pay to see them. Oh no, how sad. This should feel familiar. Twitter is essentially following the playbook of platforms like Rumble, which used to be the go-to for canceled and deplatformed right-wingers seeking soft landing and the promise of revenue, like Rumble, which has pivoted from a struggling YouTube alternative into a full-fledged far-right platform in the late 2010s. Oh my God, Twitter appears to be dipping into the well of popular right-wing shock jocks as a way to revive the financially adrift website. The move makes sense. In just a few months, Musk has actively worked to elevate a particular right-wing anti-woke ideology. He has reinstated legions of accounts that were previously banned for violating Twitter's rules. Oh, the rules that are written for people who don't think like the old staff at Twitter? Yeah, they did, and he let them back on. Hello, Jeff Oversheriff. A stroll through Musk's... Oh, wait a minute. Oh, here it is again. Musk's own rhetoric has moved from trolling and dog whistling, you might be the dog, to outright conspiracy peddling, and it has intensified in recent months, culminating in his recent anti-Semitic remarks about George Soros. Stop it. Stop that bullshit. Oh my God. A stroll through Musk's replies on the site reveals the extent to which one of the richest men in the world spends his time replying to far-right influencers and nodding approval to their racist memes. God. Oh, Lord. A social media platform will always reflect the value of its owners, and Twitter's credo is nearly identical to that of the lesser-known alt-tech sites. Really? What is that? Despite appearing to cave to the demands of autocratic governments and censoring links to competing platforms, Musk has attempted to position himself as a free speech absolutist, God forbid, oh no, similar to his right-wing activist peers, before shutting down after a failed acquisition by Ye, formerly known as Kanye West. Parler billed itself as a free speech social platform. Truth Social, a website backed in part by Donald Trump, says it encourages an open and free, honest global conversation without discriminating on the basis of political ideology. This language is indistinguishable from the way that Carlson spoke of Musk's Twitter, arguing that there aren't many platforms left that allow free speech. Yeah. And that the site is the last big one remaining in the world. If it acts like a right-wing website and markets itself as a right-wing website, it might just be a right-wing website, except it's still dominated by liberals and left-wingers everywhere. Can't get away from them. Well, except in my own, follower feed. So anyway, this continues. It's almost over. It's almost over. Let's read the rest of it. What the hell? This language is indistinguishable from the way Twitter has so fully assumed the role of a far-right platform that it might be killing its competitors. When Parler shut down in April, its parent company noted that no reasonable person believes that a Twitter clone just for conservatives is a viable business anymore. Right. And guess what? Neither are the ones on the left. You'll see them people that all put their little Mastodon accounts in their Twitter bio, but they still post on Twitter constantly because they don't have the reach at all. If Musk weren't too preoccupied lapping up approvals from trolls, reactionaries, and Dogecoin enthusiasts, a few of the constituencies left on his site that still seem to adore him, the Parler statement should worry him. Right-wing alt-tech platforms may attract investors and a flood of indignant new users with persecution complexes. Oh, is that what it is? Or did they just kicked off because they said something about gay people? Or not gay people, but trans people, because nobody gives a fuck about gay people anymore. And in fact, if you're gay, congratulations. I appreciate you. All right. That's precisely because they lack the one thing that fuels far-right discord, a way to own the libs. Oh, gee, because nobody in the left trolls right-wing people at all. Harry Sisson. A culture war is no fun if there's no actual conflict, and although some journalists and pundit diehards remain, many of Twitter's prolific users are posting less and on different platforms. Social media platforms that cater to the right's ideology eventually become tired and predictable. Oh, wait till you get to your left-wing platforms. Yeah, same thing. The results of the same loud people shaking their fists at digital clouds. History has shown us that there are plenty of ways a social network can die, but the quickest way is boredom. Guess where you're going to have over at your new favorite places. All right. I didn't get anywhere near what I was going to do today, so I'm just going to go through the headlines that are left in the links. You can check them out. PJ Media suspicion surrounds White House U-Haul attack. Oh, really? You mean when they laid down that flag so neatly right in front of the truck so the media could see pictures of it? Yeah, that's usually what they do with evidence inside a truck. They lay it out for the media to see and take pictures so everyone can say, "Oh my God, there was a Nazi flag in this truck. Oh, they're going to be investigating this Nazi guy that turned out to be some Indian dude from Missouri." Anyway, Pride is trending because so this there's a couple of things going on at Target. One is they're moving a lot of their LGBTQ stuff kind of back away from the doors now because they see what happened to Bud Light. Okay, that's one thing. But they also said, this AP fact check says that it's false that Target sold tuck-friendly swimsuits in kid sizes. Okay, because I think, what's his name? Alex Stein went in and trolled Target and tried some, because they have some tuck-friendly swimwear for, transgender people, males who identify as females. They have some tuck-friendly swimwear. Now you get what I'm saying? So they said it was false that they sold tuck-friendly swimsuits in kid sizes. But then if you read the end of the fact check, you learn that Target only sells kids swimsuits with a tag reading, quote, "thoughtfully fit on multiple body types and gender expressions." So that's really different. Also, another issue at Target, it's removed certain items from its stores, moving Pride sections to the back in some southern locations. The Bud Light boycott has clearly created some fear. They claim they're reacting to violent confrontations, not. But so there's a whole Washington Post article on that archived here. And they're doing it during Pride Month. Oh, that's so bad. They can't do that during Pride Month. Yeah, Bud Light has got everybody scared in business now. Maybe they're starting to wake up that not everybody needs to see that shit all the time. Also, though, their other problem is, and there's a couple articles. You can read the difference between a Washington Post article on this and the Zero Hedge article, though. Another problem, though, at Target is they, where is it? What happened to it? Oh, no, that's two different articles. I already got both of them. And then, but there is this tweet. Oh, is this what they mean by kid friendly? This is what the LA Dodgers is bringing back. Remember we were talking about the Sisters of the something perpetual indulgences or whatever. And this is one of their shows that the Los Angeles Dodgers is going to be enshrining with a community award. Yes, this is why Catholics think maybe, just maybe, this isn't really what the Dodgers should be giving an award to, but that's it. So you can see that on your own. Oh, and also there's an article in CNN. This is CNN. Retailers, large and small, say they're struggling to contain an escalation of in-store crimes, petty shoplifting to organized sprees of large-scale theft that clear entire shelves of products. So Target and other retailers are starting to complain that, hey, in some of these cities, they're just coming in with garbage bags and filling their bags up and walking out the store with them. In fact, I saw that happen at a grocery store here in the Twin Cities. These people just built a whole cart. They filled their cart with like meat from the meat section, and these people started just going straight out the door to their car, started loading in their car. A couple people, employees came out there and told them, "No, you can't do that. You can't steal. You got to pay for it." Anyway, an interesting thing that someone said in here, though, in this list of tweets, saying, well, what did they? It was something to the effect of, well, these big stores can afford these big corporate. Maybe people are just rebelling and get giant corporate stores. And what they failed to read, though, the article itself said retailers, large and small, it's happening everywhere. It's happening everywhere. All right. So anyway, let's go to also. And there's a popular Atlanta restaurant that regularly features drag shows, and they filed a federal lawsuit against the state of Florida and Governor Ron DeSantis less than a week after he signed a bill that targets drag performances. Now, the bill in Florida was saying that, drag performances in front of children, and they're filing a federal lawsuit to be able to perform drag shows in front of children. Now, mainly probably the law is written vaguely or something. But that's just an interesting thing that's happening. Let's see. I have a couple threads here that I was going to go through, but I certainly don't have the time. I'll leave the ACE, today's morning report from JJ Sefton open. A lot of great articles in that. But on that note, guys, I am so far behind that I got to go. So just want to thank you again for joining me as you do. Thank you, Jimmy Das Hotep. Thank you, Jimmy Das Hotep. At the end of the wire, dropping a big bowl in the tip jar. Greatly appreciated. And that makes you the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. The Streamlabs links, donations are eligible for that. Random, don't forget to support people that support you, like P-Dog and Firearm Policy Coalition. They had a great win in the Fifth Circuit yesterday. There are organizations that care about your rights. 2A, like, share, and subscribe. Well, thank you very much, Jimmy Das Hotep. I greatly appreciate that. And on that note, if you haven't done so, you can support this channel by hitting the like button, sharing the stream, donations at pdognight.live, or the links in the chat show up, or Rumble Rants or YouTube Super Chats. Thank you, Steph Colonel and Jimmy Das Hotep, for sponsoring the show today monetarily. Thanks to all of you for being part of the show, by being in the chat, by the likes and the people who retweet the show. All very special to me. Thank you very much. But it is time for me to go. So guys, thank you so much for being here today. Do all that stuff that everyone else tells you to do, and even more. And I gotta go. My name is P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great Wednesday. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.